From a secret preview of the new Warzone map to secret returning characters, here are over 10 plus secrets and details that you missed in Modern Warfare 2's reveal. Starting things off with the Warzone 2 map. That's right, in the very first few seconds of the reveal trailer, after we see the logo, you see a bird's eye camera zooming into a city. First freeze frame here gives us a clear shot of one of these areas. Now it's hard to get a true scale of how big this one area is in comparison to the rest of the map. You can definitely see a small array of buildings, some taller than others. It does give me a little bit of a Verdansk vibe, and off to the right we can see what looks to be a lot of sandy terrain. Now as it transitions to the next area, we see it zooming in on a particular set of buildings surrounding what I can only assume is going to be the downtown section of the map. And as you can see, a helipad there on the top of a building between two skyscrapers. This is high rise from the original Modern Warfare 2, although the crane seems to be missing. And if there is any doubt that you don't think this is high rise, listen to this comment from Joanna Fairies, who's the Call of Duty general manager.
We love when the fans can pick up some things, some chatter about maybe seeing high rise and other elements.
Yup, that is high rise. And as we've seen with Modern Warfare 2019, several locations on the Warzone map were created into their own multiplayer maps and ground war maps. So it's safe to assume that high rise could also be a multiplayer map, and I really hope it is. For our next secret detail, we're going to be looking at this frame in the reveal trailer during the dark water section. Now to many, this is just a generic soldier, but that is not the case at all. This is actually Lurch, a Shadow Company operator who was released at the start of Season 5 of Modern Warfare 2019. He's a huge brash soldier that you see with the sunglasses that blows up the stadium in Verdansk. We can tell this is him for sure for two things. Firstly, those iconic sunglasses. I mean, who else would wear sunglasses when you're storming an oil rig during a heavy storm? Not only that, but the soldier also has some pretty huge forearms that match up with Lurch, and of course the Shadow Company insignia on the shoulder, which we know he's a part of, and Task Force 141 and Shadow Company are working together in this mission. But Lurch isn't the only iconic Modern Warfare character returning. In this press screenshot release for Modern Warfare 2, we can see another character returning who is Griggs. We can again tell that this is Griggs because he wears iconic sunglasses, as well as the mustache hairs you can see between the night vision goggles and the Demon Dog's insignia on his shoulder. Now, some really cool trivia is that Griggs is actually heavily based on the animation director for Modern Warfare called Mark Grigsby. Literally, his appearance is the exact same as his character, and he voices his character as well. Now, let's talk about a really cool detail. During the dark water gameplay, we see you play on a boat where there are containers moving around, there's water flowing in, and it looks really impressive. Well, apparently, none of this is scripted, and every playthrough will see a different outcome with these containers and the water, as everything in the level is moving simply because of the engine's water physics. So when you play the campaign level, your experience will be different to other people's experience, which is really cool. And apparently, these moving crates is something that Infinity Ward want to do in multiplayer, but can't guarantee the crate locations will evenly match up with server lag and delay. Let me know what you think about that. And as we get near to the end of this mission, we hear a very iconic voice. Take a listen.
You have your orders, son. Stop that launch.
Now, this voice is none other than Glenn Morshower, who played the character of Overlord within the original Modern Warfare trilogy. His voice is absolutely iconic in Modern Warfare history, as he gave the orders to the US Army Rangers, as well as Delta Force. Now, we don't know if he's going to be returning as Overlord, but it sounds a lot like it to me, and I saw a lot of comments about people thinking that this was actually Shepard's voice, which it definitely isn't. It's definitely the voice actor for Overlord, just is it Overlord? We just don't know. Now, this next detail is something which I'm sure a lot of you have already noticed, but with the Dark Water campaign mission, we can definitely tell that it's inspired from Crew Expendable from the original Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, which ironically also takes place on a boat in the middle of nowhere with shipping containers, and the weather is rainy and stormy, as well as the Only Easy Day Was Yesterday mission from Modern Warfare 2, which saw us storm an oil rig very similar to how we're seeing in this mission, clearly paying homage to both of those missions. Now, in the original COD 4, we saw this level become a multiplayer map. So does that mean that we could see reimagining of Wet Work with moving shipping containers on the map? There is every chance. Now, one of the biggest hidden details, which I'm sure a ton of you are interested in, is the vast array of weaponry that we're going to be getting our hands on in this game. Thanks to the incredible folks over at the Internet Movie Firearms database, we can get a detailed analysis of every weapon spotted within the gameplay trailer, campaign gameplay, and even gameplay which wasn't shown known to the public. Pistol we see within the first few moments of the gameplay reveal look to be either a Glock or the CZ-P10C. As for submachine guns, we've got the FNP90, the Heckler and Koch MP7A2, Chris Vector, which might be called the Fennec as it was in Modern Warfare, and the Sig Sauer MPX. As for shotguns, we see Soap use the Benelli M4 Super 90 in the Dark Water gameplay, and we see a bunch of different rifles and carbines. At one point, we see an AKS-74U dropped by an enemy. Soap is firing an AK-105 in the reveal trailer at this moment here. There's also the appearance of the FN Scar L during the trailer. Really interesting, during the campaign gameplay, we see a custom hybrid of what appears to be a HK-53 and an MP5 SD. There appears to be quite a few weapons which we see so many different conversions of, which we're likely able to do in the gunsmith this time around. There's also the M14 spotted, multiple versions of the M4A1, and AR-57 is seen in the FJX Cinder pre-order bonus that you get, which is another version of the M4, as well as the Fight Light MCR upper receiver also in that image as a conversion of the M4. We also apparently see the Q Honey Badger during the trailer, which is a fan favorite weapon from Call of Duty Ghosts, and I love the Honey Badger, as well as the Sig Sauer MCX Virtus SBR. As for sniper rifles, we only have one confirmed one so far, which is a custom version of the M24 SWS. It uses the same model as the SPR 208 from Modern Warfare 2019 with some modifications. And lastly, in one shot, we see a M230 chain gun attached to an Apache helicopter. And that is only scratching the surface of the full suite of weaponry that we'll be able to get our hands on in this game. But a few returning fan favorites as well as some brand new weapons there. Now, this next detail is not shown in the gameplay trailer or in the gameplay, but there is going to be a firing range feature available. Last time we saw this was in Advanced Warfare, but when you're creating your own weapons and all these different conversions that will be available in the multiplayer, you'll finally be able to jump from the gunsmith straight into a firing range, test out those weapons to see what's the best build, what attachments affect what, and just be able to see all sorts of different things without you having to jump into an actual game and test stuff like recoil patterns on walls and stuff. Now, with this next detail, you wouldn't think too much of it, but when the characters ascend up into the oil rig, they use grappling hooks. The grappling animation when they go up is similar to what you see in Warzone, but it's the actual grapple location from scratch, which begs the question if we could see this feature in Warzone 2 and multiplayer, being able to create your own grapple points using a hook and elevating yourself to areas which you wouldn't be able to access otherwise. Now, another secret which you wouldn't know from just watching this footage is that you see a lot of destruction elements within the campaign. You'd be concerned that that would also be in multiplayer, but it's confirmed that there will be no destruction inside of the multiplayer maps. We saw Sledgehammer Games add this feature to pretty much every multiplayer map, and whilst it was very cool attention to detail, I don't think it was very useful, and I'm sure this is why it's not been included this time around. Now, let's talk about locations. We know that this game is going to be set in Western Europe, Asia, and America. Looking at this final shot from the trailer, you can see a beautiful vista of a city from the perspective of a set of houses on a mountain. Now, some keen-eyed viewers of the trailer believe that this is Montserrat, which is a high mountain over 10,000 feet high that dominates the city center of Bogota, the capital city of Colombia. Now, it just looks jaw-droppingly beautiful, and I'd love to see this outside of this campaign mission, perhaps maybe as a multiplayer map or even part of Warzone. It's just a section of the world that we don't see too often in video games, and especially with this area, they've done an incredible job. Another crazy attention to detail is the fact that the water simulation in this game is incredibly high quality, with the game having real physics calculations that will significantly slow down bullets shot through water. And just like in real life, water affects your weapon ballistics, and there's an example where in one campaign mission you have to take down a load of guards whilst you are underwater, and shooting them from under the water will take maybe 4 bullets instead of the usual 2. This can work the other way around too, where soldiers can shoot down at you in the water or throw grenades into the water. It's going to be fascinating to see how this affects gameplay with Warzone, with the element of water really changing up how games are going to be affected, especially late game. And this last detail is something which isn't revealed within the gameplay reveal or the trailer, which is that Special Ops mode is going to be returning. This is going to be a 2-player mode, which is very different to what we got with Modern Modern Warfare 2019 being an open world 4-player experience, this is going to take place narratively after the campaign, just like with Modern Warfare 2019, and this is described as an evolved tactical version of Spec Ops. Now, Spec Ops in Modern Warfare 2019 was universally panned as it just was not what people expected. It failed to deliver on the Spec Ops experience that people loved in Modern Warfare 2 and 3, and trying to create something brand new, she did not have enough development time. I really hope that this time around, Spec Ops is a lot better. But that's all for secrets and details missed in this video. Check out the video above for Modern Warfare 2 gameplay details and make sure to subscribe, not miss out on a single Modern Warfare 2 video.